Well, I got the carb off the Kawasaki, and needless to say, this is about the worst carb I have ever seen. Look at all the tar and the dirt looking stuff in this. Holy cow. Wow. This is going to take a while to get clean. Days, weeks even. And my camera battery's about dead. That's great. So, later guys. Alrighty guys, so this is almost 24 hours later. I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner at work. Did not use the heat on the carburetor because I couldn't get all the jets and stuff out of it. I got a good portion of them out, but I put it in there, and then for about a half hour along with this, and after that I was able to get air to flow through all the jets and carb cleaner. And this took quite a bit of, well, excuse me, just ate and burping. It took quite a bit of time. It took about 2 rounds in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I used a wire brush on it and a screwdriver, and I got most of the big heavy stuff out. Now it's just down to some light surface rust in there. But I'm going to clean up the float here a little bit, and we'll put her back together and put it on and see if it just so happens to run. The only thing real weird about the Kawasaki carb that I'll note is this is actually the jet, or the gas pickup in the bottom. See the two, there's a hole there and a hole there. That's how the main jet and the idle picks up the fuel in the bottom. So that's kind of different, but you know, very similar to like a Tecumseh or something along those lines. So let me get her put back together, and we'll get it put on here and see what she does. Okay, let's see if she runs now. Recoil still broke. I ordered the spring today. Even shuts off with a key switch. Key switch. Okay. I still gotta put some oil in the transmission. Move some stuff around so I can try out the high-low for it in reverse. Turn the switch back on? Yep. I have a feeling this engine burns a whole heck of a lot of oil. But it runs. Check that out. So I'll get some oil in the transmission and put a hair more gas in it, and maybe I'll go make a lap around the barn and see how it works. Hopefully you guys can see this, but it's smoking pretty good. It is not smoking quite as much as it was. I'm still hopeful it just has PV blaster in the muffler, but I'll give it a couple minutes here and see what it does. Boy, is that a smooth, quiet running motor. It's definitely smoking less. I bet you it just had stuff in the muffler. Like I said, I'll let it sit and warm and run up here, and then I'll pull it back inside so you guys can see real good. So, well, I run it around the block here, and It's not smoking now. Like I said, I'm very hopeful it just had stuff in the muffler or the rings were stuck. That is very possible. But this is a good running motor. Automatic compression release, I think. A little rich. Oh. My screwdriver go here. There's only one adjustment on this. It was turn and a half, and I knew it was carbon, so I went in a half a turn there, see what it does. Better. Oh. Wonder if I run it out of gas? Or did I lean it out too much for idle? Back at quarter turn. You guys are watching this real time right now. Okay. Alley-oop. Okay. Oh, I just busted the recoil altogether too. Yep, stuck the whole way out now. Damn it. Well, I'll have to take that back apart. But anyhow, it's a good running machine once I get the recoil figured out. I'll get the carb dialed in and we'll be good to go. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see everybody later. Okay, I got this thing apart. I didn't videotape it, but the rope actually pulled out of it. And this starter, recoil startup setup is pretty unique. So, I'm going to take it apart. I don't know if I'll put it back together on a video or not, but has a, you see somebody put a marker line on it right here to mark where the rope goes in. And what I did was I took and I looped the rope around the center because it's always going to spin with it. So that won't hurt it. And then I put a double knot in right about here. So actually I think what was happening was I think the rope was just getting pulled out further and further every time. Because the spring is okay. It's bent up here at the end. Which just means to me the rope broke once and then it got twisted back around. So I'm going to take the needle nose vice grips here and straighten it out, and I'll attempt to put this thing back together and see what it does. I got a whole bunch of little pieces here. This goes down in here, and then the spring goes on top of that, and then the nut holds everything down. It's quite the contraption. So compared to your normal Kawasaki starter. So let me reassemble this and see what it does. Okay, I got it all back in there, and I got the spring hooked up. You can see it's springing back. So I'll get it spun around so the ropes. No, actually I can leave it like that. It don't hurt it. And I'll put it back together here. Twister. Twister or chooch outside. Anyhow, I get this all put back together and see what it does. Okay, let's see what the recoil works like now. gas already. Still got gas. That's kind of what it did before, huh? This doesn't have remote throttle on it, by the way. It's got it dialed in pretty good there. And the smoke has subsided. Awesome. So, the Kawasaki Legend. I have to work on the ground a little bit, but the Kawasaki Legend lives on. This Kawasaki repower is pretty neat. I feel it's quiet. I will definitely be putting a remote throttle on it of some stature. I still got to put the hitch back on it, which isn't a huge deal. And yeah, we'll go from there. Got a bunch of things like the handlebars need tightened up. That one's not too bad, but this one over here is loose. This can be. And it's missing shift knobs and needs handlebar grips and dumb stuff like that. This actually wouldn't be too bad of a tractor to restore. The only challenging part is going to be a fuel tank for it, because of the way the fuel tank's mounted on this. What I'd have to do is fab up some kind of bracket off the top of the head and put that tank down low on the far side, about where the starter would be, say on a Kohler. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Kawasaki repower, revive. And like I said, the legend lives on, and the force grows in strength and numbers. So thanks for watching, guys. Next thing we'll mess with is the 524 over there. Aha! Later, guys. Awesome. Awesome.